What's going on, people? It's SGZ here from the SpartanGameZone, and in this video we'll be counting down the top 10 legendary shotguns in Borderlands 3. Shotguns are the perfect weapons to take with you out on the hunt when you want to get up close and personal. These are the best shotguns in the game, and I'll be letting you know what each one does, where you can get them, and how you can maximize their effectiveness. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, or even follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to check out the other weapon class countdowns if you missed them, and make sure to let me know what your favorite shotgun is in the comments below, and let's crack into it. We open this countdown of the top 10 legendary shotguns in Borderlands 3 with the Red Line, a weapon that can come in all of the flavors and can only be dropped by Road Dogg you fight around here in the Splinterlands. The Red Line is a shotgun made for bossing, allowing you to stack stickies faster than anything else in the game. Before those gyro jets burst from its barrel, you need to rev its engine, and when complete it'll unleash them at a rapid rate. It always comes with a double penetrating prefix, consuming 2 ammo per shot, and ammo is the key when it comes to maximizing its bossing potential. You see, the more gyro jets you stack on your target, the more damage you'll deal, as they grow in strength as they detonate. 25 is a nice number to aim for, and an action skill in Splash Damage Anointment will increase its damage the most. That is, if you're not Moze, who can abuse some for the road to pile on an insane amount of stickies that'll drop that boss before the last one even detonates. To maximize that combo, aim for an after exiting Iron Bear Splash Damage Anointment and an action skill start Revolter, which raise its damage and your fire rate, allowing you to pile even more on in that small window. Zane can get close to that with a Digiclone Regen Ammo Anointment, but there's no doubt Moze does it best. If you're looking to mob with this gun, there's better choices out there. Stickies are slow and the impact mode doesn't deal all that much damage unless you're Moze, but there's no doubt the Red Line is a bossing beast. Moving on to the projectile recursion, a melee one gun that has an increased chance to drop from General Truant. You fight around here in Desolation's Edge, but only if you're on Mayhem 6 or above. The recursion is a fantastic mobbing weapon in the correct setups, made even better by dealing splash damage. When your projectiles hit your target, they will ricochet towards someone else, and then again multiple times, majorly boosting the damage a single round can deal. Peak damage lies within its ×2 variant, coupled with an Infernal Wish. It's great on Moze due to her natural splash damage buff. Samara can compound those ricochets with Indiscriminate, that can get them landing crits, but Zane can do it best. That's all thanks to Eraser and the Hustler class mod, which majorly increase the damage of those ricocheting rounds, so much so that you can use them to one-shot bosses. It may not be the recursion of old, but don't let that fool you, because there's plenty of power hidden within. Time now for the Lob, a weapon manufactured by Torg. It has an increased chance to drop from Greatward, who you fight in the Floating Tomb on Eden 6, but you can also get one from the Trial of Survival on True Trial difficulty. The Lob is unique in the way that it doesn't deal impact damage, but proximity damage. It fires a glistening elemental orb each time you pull the trigger, which quickly drains the health of enemies while it's nearby. The orbs travel slowly, which is key to the damage it deals, so avoid picking up heavy rain if you're on Amara. It's a gun designed to be spammed. Keep tapping that trigger and you'll birth an army of glitter puffs thirsty for the souls of your enemies. It's great for mobbing due to each orb's ability to travel through enemies, but there's plenty of power here for it to drop bosses too. An Infernal Wish is a great choice shield to pair with it, doubling your orb count, and Flak and Zane can get an extra one with Two Fang and Playing Dirty, filling up that screen much faster. Now for the Trevinator, a gun manufactured by Maliwan. It can come in all the elements, 2 of them which you can switch between, and has an increased chance to drop from Private Bean, so you fight around here in Athenas after completing the quest Invasion of Privacy. The Trevinator is the gun you would get if Dahl and Meliwan had a baby, with the burst fire of the former and the splash damage and elemental affinity of the latter. It fires 3 or 6 pellets in a 3-round burst with absolutely no charge time. One burst will do a hefty chunk of damage, especially on Moes, where the ×6 variant shines brightest. Having no delay enables you to continue pressuring your enemies with heavy hitting orbs, easily cleaning what's left of their health bar before you move on to the next. It's the most well-rounded splash damage shotgun you can get your hands on. There's no surprises here, just a powerful gun ready to dish out the hurt. Next up is the Reflux, the Mayhem 6+ Hyperion shotgun that can only come in corrosive and has an increased chance to drop from Genevieve, who you fight around here in Voracious Canopy. The Reflux is a gun made for mobbing, growing ever stronger the more enemies you take on. Its unique effect causes corrosive ties to burst from the enemy you're shooting at and attach themselves to another, draining the health bars of anyone's length. Countless enemies can be caught holding hands at once, allowing it to down multiple people without you even needing to shoot at them. Flat can make extra special use of it by causing the chains to also hit criticals, and all those hits help to reset fadeaway incredibly quickly, making great use of the redundant ×14 version, but whoever you play as, it's always ready to thin out the pack. A Wild Convergence appears, a weapon exclusive to the Psycho Krieg DLC that can come in all of the elements including none, and has an increased chance to drop from Dr. Benedict. You fight here in the Benediction of Pain, but you can also get one from the Trial of Fervor on True Trial difficulty. The Convergence isn't your typical shotgun, summoning a cluster of needles that penetrate your target every time you land a shot. They pierce your enemies from all angles, ensuring that health bars drain that much faster. The summoned blades are long enough to impact multiple enemies at once, and you can boost their damage with Zane through a Hustler class mod, or Flat can pick up Megavore. Its effect is also great on Ricochet Amara, where ricocheting bullets cast the same effect on nearby enemies. It's an unrelenting weapon that handles well and deals high damage. If you want the best version, look out for one with a ×4 pellet count, or even a ×8 if you can handle the added ammo consumption. Moving on now to the Face Puncher, a weapon that fires mini Bruce Lees. It can be obtained by defeating Moldog the Anointed. You fight around here in Floodmoor Basin, but only after you've completed the quest, the Guns of Reliance. The Face Puncher is an incredible gun that can deal monstrous amounts of damage, but not without a little help. That's because it doesn't deal gun damage but melee damage, and because of that it can seem lackluster if you're not building for it. To get you there, you'll want a melee based artifact like a Stone Static Charge, ideally with some rolls to increase the punchy, and it helps to get one on your class mod too. A redundant variant will have you dealing the most damage per shot, and it's best with a consecutive hits or action skill in melee anointment. That is, unless you're Amara, who can have the most fun with Phase Slam 300. Speaking of Amara, she has it the easiest with this gun, where it serves as a premium weapon within her most powerful build. It will destroy all mobbing arenas easily, leaving absolute destruction in your wake, and you can take that high damage to the bossing field too. Moving on to the Anarchy, a monster of a weapon that has an increased chance to drop from Kukawajak. You fight around here in Nagal Nashai as part of the Guns, Love and Tentacles DLC. There's not much more powerful in the game than an Anarchy at full strength, but getting there takes a little bit of effort. Every time you empty the mag or kill someone, the Anarchy stacks up, becoming 25% more powerful than it currently is. And because that damage increase compounds, at the max stack it's nearly 14 times more powerful than when it started out. Prematurely reloading will cause all stacks to be removed, so avoid doing that and you'll be manning the Annihilation Station. It decimates opponents, tearing big chunks out of your enemy's health bars with each empty clip signaled by a deadly reload animation, which you won't want to be caught up in because if you go down, so do all your stacks. If you want the best one, look out for a times 20 variant, but times 18 will do, both of which consume 2 ammo per shot but deal a mountain of damage. On top of that, it also deals splash damage, which makes everything better, and an action skill in splash damage anointment is best, but consecutive hits is great too. Time now for the Butcher, a weapon that can come in all the elements including none, and has an increased chance to drop from Raging Titan who you fight at the end of the Slaughter Shaft, but you can get it from selling Ludograms to Dinklebot in Skywell 27. The Butcher is the weapon you want to wield if you want a nice sirloin of damage seasoned with infinity. It's a gun that never grows old, literally. It has the potential to fire away until the end of time. It fires at an incredible speed and sees bullets return to your magazine almost as fast as you expend them. For that to happen, you'll need the standard 3 pellet version, as the extra ammo cost of the ×6 one is too much for its effect to cancel out. Enemies will see no respite while you have it equipped, as you can go entire arenas without loading in another mag. RNGs will have a say in that, but it happens much more often than not. It's like a much better version of the Infinity Pistol, with its ammo replenishment perfectly accompanying its great damage. Not only is it incredibly fun to use, but it dominates in all combat situations. Before number 1 is revealed, let's cover some honourable mentions. First up, the Insider. A melee-worn weapon that is exclusive to the Guns, Love and Tentacles DLC, with an increased chance to drop from Tom and Zan you fight around here in Heart's Desire. The Insider is an aggressive automatic shotgun, firing a large number of elemental pellets that pierce enemies, dealing splash damage on impact and when in contact with the world's surface. It can come with multiple pellet variations, with a minimum of 5 and a maximum of 12, consuming 2 to 4 ammo, and unless you're Moe's, the 3 for 10 deal is best. It's a gun that often feels more powerful than it is, with its violent recoil having you staring deeply into the sky shortly after holding down the trigger. You definitely need to wrestle with it to keep it on target, but once it's there, it'll deal great damage across the Vault Hunters. There's not many powerful splash damage shotguns, and this certainly is one of them, with its mobbing potential upscaled thanks to its piercing rounds. Its high projectile count is a big bonus, netting you a lot of ricochets on Amara, and its automatic firing mode grants room for high DPS. The next honourable mention I have for you is the Garcia, a Jacob's gun that has an increased chance to drop from Chonk Stomp you fight around here in Floodmoor Basin. The Garcia is a hefty Jacob's shotgun, the one that bandits want to be buried with in Borderlands 2. It bolsters a healthy magazine size, consumes 2 bullets per shot, and fires in a slightly awkward 2-pump slump. It always has a high projectile count at either 12 or 16, which causes all hell to break loose on critical hits. When landed, all of its projectiles will scatter, bouncing off nearby opponents and often ripping them apart. It's best with an X2 Mag's anointment for elemental flavour, but Amara can do that with infusion, and you can never go wrong with it, especially if you're a robot named Flake. The last honourable mention I have for you is the Robin's Call, yet another shotgun manufactured by Jacobs. This one belongs to the Bounty of Blood DLC, with an increased chance to drop from Garrison Lock you fight around here in Ashfall Peaks. The Robin's Call is very similar to the Garcia in the way you need to pump it between shots. It has less damage, fires slightly faster, consumes double the ammo, but has an effect that makes that not a problem at all. Being a core weapon, it summons tiny fairies to rechamber your rounds whenever you expend them, as long as you land a critical hit, which is what the Jacobs clan already expect from you. Landing them will see ricocheting projectiles explode from your target's skull as that ammo is returned free of charge. It's a powerful shotgun that you should never be reloading, especially if you're Flak, who can get free criticals thanks to Megavore. Number 1, we're here with one of the cool kids, and who's designing their t-shirts? It's the Hellwalker, an always incendiary double-barreled Jacobs shotgun that has an increased chance to drop from Road Dogg, who you fight around here in the Splinterlands. The Hellwalker has always easily been one of the coolest weapons in the game. I mean, a double-barrel shotgun that shoots flaming rounds in unique patterns while playing heavy metal. When has that ever not been cool? I mean, it was in the 80s, and the 80s never died. Just ask your dad. It's a heavy-hitting shotgun that mounts opponents with 10 searing rounds. Land a critical and that damage not only grows but is shared round, ripping through crowds of opponents. High critical damage and multiple pellets is something Flak was made for, and it's great on them, but it's wonderful on everyone. You'll want to avoid next to mag anointments because of its limited mag size, with consecutive hits a good option. And reload stack will see you rechambering it faster than Harry Potter was sent to his room after Dumbledore found out he put his name in the Goblet of Fire. It can handle anything, whether it's mobbing or bossing, allowing you to cosplay as the Grim Reaper wielding your double-barreled Scythe of Doom. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned of the top 10 legendary shotguns in Borderlands 3. If you did, consider dropping a like or subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.